Most job interviews are too polished. Candidates walk in with rehearsed answers, ready to talk about teamwork and passion, while hiding behind buzzwords in a sanded-down resume. To cut through that polish, Elon Musk asks candidates to detail the most difficult problems they worked on and explain exactly how they solved them. This question works because a person who actually solved a problem remembers the granular details, the constraints, the failed attempts, and the hard trade-offs. Because these specifics are nearly impossible to fake, the depth of the story verifies if the candidate was truly responsible for the action. By the end of this tutorial, you will translate your static resume into a 5-part field report ready for any high-stakes interview. Grab your resume and a pen, and let's begin. Mastering this framework ensures you are no longer memorizing your work history. You are preparing to prove to an employer exactly how you think and act under intense pressure. Step 1 is selecting your problems. Look at your resume and, for a moment, ignore your job titles and assigned duties. We are looking for the difference between a static responsibility and a measurable accomplishment. A responsibility is what you were assigned to do, like managing a marketing team. An accomplishment is what changed because you were there, like leading that team to reposition the company into a market leader. Using this accomplishment mindset, write down 3 to 5 specific, difficult problems you personally tackled during your career. Focus on situations characterized by real constraints, difficult trade-offs, or moments where your initial plans failed and you had to improvise. Establishing this list is vital. It focuses your interview on the tangible impact you made, providing more evidence of your value than a list of titles and duties. Step 2. Select just one of those written problems. We are going to outline it using a strict structure to keep your answer tight and prevent rambling. Part 1 is the problem. Identify what was broken, missing, delayed, or unclear when you first arrived. Part 2 is the stakes. Articulate exactly why fixing this problem mattered to the organization. Part 3 is the action. Isolate what you personally did to address the issue, cutting through any vague statements about what we accomplished. Part 4 is the friction. Detail the messy middle. Explain what made the execution difficult, who you had to convince, or what initially went wrong. Finally, Part 5 is the result. Define the measurable outcome and specify what permanently changed because of your work. Adhering to this structure keeps your answer focused on the evidence. It turns a potential monologue into a structured field report. Now for Step 3, the ownership audit. Focus specifically on the friction and action sections of your newly drafted outline. Watch out for a common interview red flag. This happens when a candidate tells a story where every difficulty was someone else's fault, and they were the only competent person in the room. Audit your outline and remove language that shifts blame to bad bosses, lazy teams, or unfair markets. Pointing fingers suggests to an interviewer that you may be difficult to coach or trust when things go wrong. Replace those excuses with ownership language. Mature candidates can discuss external obstacles and failures while still explaining the part they personally owned. Rewrite your friction points to highlight what you learned and how you adjusted. Instead of complaining about a late vendor, explain how you should have communicated the risk more clearly or adjusted your approach when you saw the delay. Choosing to own the friction in your story shows an employer that you are coachable and adaptable. It builds trust by proving you move toward problems instead of excuses. Step 4 is execution. Put your pen down, step away from the paper, and practice speaking your 5-part outline out loud. Expect your first verbal attempt to be long and clunky. That is a necessary part of the process. Repeat the story out loud 4 to 5 times. This repetition allows you to trim the fat and clarify the core points naturally. Avoid trying to memorize a script. Your objective is to know the framework well enough to navigate the details conversationally. Out-loud iteration bridges the gap between being meticulously prepared and sounding completely natural in the room. You have successfully transformed a single resume bullet point into an evidence-backed narrative that proves you can handle complexity. While other candidates rely on vague corporate language, you can now provide verifiable proof of your actions and their outcomes. Now, repeat steps 2 through 4 for the remaining problems on your initial list. Build your mental library of anchor stories. Mastering these problem-solving stories provides the evidence of character and judgment that a resume can only imply. It shows exactly how you behave when things get hard.